Now I want to see if I can see pedal voltages from this scan tool. That'll probably be the last thing I do for it tonight. Just figure that out. I also want to check. Fuck. Doing too much bullshit. Yeah, I want to see if the connector's loose. There's one dude on one of the forums, Sprinter Source, that he found that his connector just wasn't clipped down all the way. And that's why it was giving him issues. I like the zip tie. Somebody's been fucking around with this too. So, if that's the case, let's take a... Probably because they knew what was wrong and they got sick of it and they sent it to auction. No luck. That scanner does not look at that much live data. It just has some real basic shit. I'm going to go ahead and not worry about it. I'll look at the wiring harness back inside the house and see if I'm able to look at it myself. It's a little more rainy or mistier than yesterday, so I wanted to see. Looks like there's just three bolts. Look like those E10s too, to pull that pedal off. So I'm going to pull the whole assembly and test it on the bench, just so it's easier to film, to kind of see what's going on. But yeah, so oh good, I still have it on here from when I resealed the EGR. Alright, here's that pedal and the sensor. Pins are labeled from right to left, 1 through 5. So we'll cross-reference that to the manual upstairs. I had the wiring diagram. They had a little one with pinouts as well. So we can just make sure that we're testing the right ones. But we'll wait until the boy goes to bed and then I'll come back out here in the dark. Okay, this is out of the manual that I think everybody gets online from the same website. And I just wanted to note that there is a difference between, it says accept OBD and OBD. I'm guessing ours is OBD, but I've been wrong before. Interesting to see if I can get that kickdown switch off. It was kind of stuck on there yesterday. This one, the sensor comes off easy. This guy did not. It doesn't help that my giant hands don't really fit in here. I bet if I had a screwdriver. Oh, nope, there it goes. Easy. Okay. And then 3 of these. That one's got a little rust on it. Okay, we're back at it. I took the boots off and nothing touches, so we should be okay. Test this channel first, then we'll turn our source back off. It's hard to reach the buttons from down here. Essentially, on the source side, we want 5 volts, so millivolts, 5,000. Boop. So now there's 5 volts going out. So 2.05 is our 0 pedal position, right, or 0 throttle. And then if I push it down, that should go to 5-ish. It only goes to 2.08. Is that right? I don't know. It'll be right if, now that may be why it says low voltage. Maybe it's supposed to go higher. So 2.08. Keep that in mind. If I really wrench on it, okay. All right, now let me turn that source back off. We'll measure the other channel. That other channel, so 4 stays the same. Our ground is going to be 5, and our signal is going to be 3. So I'm not going to be a dirt ball. I'm going to move the black wire. I'm not going to try to do anything fancy. 1 is going to be our signal. So pin 1 is signal. Pin 4, let me make sure, yep. Pin 4, source. Pin 5 is ground. Let's see what we get. Make sure none of those, I'm just looking down on there with the light, making sure the tips of these aren't, there's a gap between the pin next to them, because it's not going to hurt anything. you know, it's 5 volts. This process calibrator doesn't put out a ton of amperage. It wouldn't hurt the circuitry, but it would interrupt our measurements. Alright, so measure, here's our source, 5,000 millivolts. So 0.4 for our 0 pedal position. Oh, look at that, 4.1. And then it backs off pretty fast to like 2 point something. There's not a lot of pedal throw, so it's difficult to get one. Then it goes blank and it jumps up to like 3 point something. I wonder if I can find that blank spot. Does it do it every time you floor it? Boom. I'm blank. Now I'm 4 volts. I think. So I was thinking about it at work. Reason the non-OBD shows the potentiometers is because it is potentiometers. And the reason the OBD doesn't show potentiometers is it's probably a Hall sensor. So I grabbed my fancy kit for these tiny little Torx bits. I didn't want to jam a flathead screwdriver in there and screw them up. It's probably this a T5. It's hard to tell with these small sizes because like the small one will kind of grip it. But yeah, this 6 goes in there. It's tight, but that 6 goes in, so it's a T6. We'll have a look for ourselves. I got a pedal on the way that has pigtails here, so it'll make testing both this pedal and the eBay special that I got pretty easy. Mostly I want to see if there's that dead spot on the eBay pedal, because that, I mean, even with a Hall pedal, that shouldn't happen. It shouldn't just drop out the signal like that. And the other thing I'll need to do is jump in there and just verify that I'm getting good voltage going into pin 4 from the ECU. Because if that's low, of course this is going to be low. This should just kind of... See you later. Is it actually on the pin? So we might, yeah, it's all sealed. We're not going to be able to get this apart and look inside. Woo. That's sad. But if we do confirm that the pedal's the problem, if I get the other one here and it tests fine, I put it in the van and I don't get any errors, with this being then known as a bad sensor, we go ahead and rip this thing apart and look at it. But I think that it's a Hall sensor. And oh, and there's the kickdown switch, right? So when you hit the gas real hard and then that touches, that's what tells it. I wonder if I'm not even, oh, there we go, click. So you know what? I wasn't pushing the pedal all the way down when I tested it either, because that extra little bit is your 100% throttle, and when that switch clicks, it tells the transmission, hey, if I can, drop me down a gear. Alright, find actually one of these holes that the pedal screws into should be a relatively good ground. So I'm going to hit that, and then pin 4, this guy, if that goes down in there for a minute. Oh, weird. It's reading 4 volts when I touch the floor because there's probably so much grease and shit in there. But yeah, 4.99. So dead nuts with that. Yeah, so this is conductive material now because of all the dirt and grime. That's really funny. At least we know we have good voltage coming in. I think it's probably going to be with that sensor, but the new part won't be here till next week, so it'll be a while before this gets out. Sweet. So my eBay throttle showed up. It's off an 05, which I think 05, 06 are the ones that are Hall effect. At least that's my theory. And the nice thing about this one is it came with pigtail. So when we get these all stripped, it'll be a lot easier to grab the ones we want And for testing, I don't know how many pedals I'll test in the future, but hey, I've got a pigtail for it. Maybe I should rent it. Yeah. Come on, buddy. Yeah. All right, I'll get everything set up and do the same test over again. Okay, same as the first pedal. I'm gonna do one at a time. Got my source, so pin 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pin 4. There you go. You get. Oh, does this one not grip very well? There, that's a good one. So that's gonna get 5 volts put to it. Our pin 1 is signal 1, so red signal. Boom. And then that side signal ground is 5. Now, should probably be a little careful. These are going to have stuff coming across as well, because 3 is a signal and 2 is a ground. So signal ground. Yeah, it'll be okay. They're not going to touch. Of course not. So we want to do 5 volts. Pew! Okay, pedals powered up. You can see our measurement, 0.36. I can dig around the manual and see if that's correct, but I think it was. I think it was something to 0.4 for this scale, which means this one should go up to 4.5-ish on the high end. See, that cut out too. That did the same fucking thing. Cuts out and then goes to voltage. That's what my other pedal did. And there's the extra when I do the kick down. See that that's a huge amount between 0 and full throttle. Back down to 0.37. I don't like that cutout. Now having it do it on both pedals is odd to me. So I'm gonna write down my voltages and check it to the manual and probably pull a thing up here and get the other pedal out. We don't need this. This is OBD paper. So on the lower end, 0.3606, whatever. 360 is probably adequate. 0.36, we'll call it. It doesn't need that much detail. And on the high end, with the kick down, yeah, that's odd. 4.59, good enough. We'll round. Yeah, it should be 4.6, but 4.596. Close enough. 0.360, close enough. Check the other side of that. So we need to move our ground to 2. And then our signal is going to be on 3. Alright, lower end 0.181. Our higher end 2.307. And that one gave me that didn't give a dead spot at all. So why does that upper one do it? Okay, so I looked up the actual numbers for each one, and on the higher voltage circuit, 0.28 to 0.37. So we're on the high end, but we're in spec. 4.45 to 4.75, good. Same thing here, high end, but we're good. We're good. So all of those land within that whole thing where it blanks out on me. I do not like. Now, it's entirely possible. Oh, right, I have 0 volts going in. Let's give it 5. Woohoo! Maybe this meter's just too quick. No, it just drops. It just completely drops out. That's what the other one does. I would find it hard to believe that I got 2 bad pedals, but who knows. Let me check the other pedal again to these voltages. Oh, where'd I put my pen? How did I already lose a pen? Only in this garage, right? Good thing I've got more utensils. A Sharpie now. Guess I'll use a pencil. Alright, so right off the bat, old pedal is showing 0.43. Old, which is out, that's too high. And then when I give it gas, it's probably going to do that thing again. It blanks out. And with the kick down, 4.685. That's probably too high as well. 4.685. Nope, that's fine. 4.75 is the top. I don't want to check the other side. 2 is signal, not 1. 3 is the ground. 0.636. That's way high. Like way too high for the downside. So that makes me feel good. And then on the high end, oop, did I hook something up wrong? No. Oh, signal is 3, 2 is ground. Oopsie. So the voltage coming in wouldn't be grounded. Oh, wave's home. So that explains the voltage difference, but still 0.224 is too high. And then with the kick down, 2.342, and that's within. So it looks like our low end, or 0, is too high, according to the book, on the old pedal, but it still blanks out, so I don't know. Alright, this is my other thought, was to go ahead and test that one. Let's see, what was that, ground on 1? Yeah, ground on 5. And signal is on 1. I'm going to also attach some period specific equipment, mainly this old ass Fluke 27 that I got at a garage sale. I want to see what it sees when this nice meter that I acquired at work sees, because this is a pretty nice piece of kit. So right, 0.44, yeah, close enough to what it was before, reading DC. I mean, this is reading kind of all over the map, and it's not very fast. Don't know if it can keep up or not. So don't touch your friends. You guys stop that. So I should have put tape over these little cocksuckers. Whatever. Make sure I keep my arm out of the way. I'm at 0.003. That's interesting. Fluke doesn't read it at all. What? Do I have something not touching? Oh yeah, I'm on insulation. There we go. That's better. 0.449, 0.449. All right, let's see if it cuts out at all. Overload, 4.15. Yeah, so that shows weirdness too. So I don't know if this eBay pedal is going to cut it. All right, so to recap, this one with the red markings on it, the eBay pedal, tested within the specs that are in the manual. My old pedal, voltage is way high on the lower end. Both of them, according to that Fluke, have cut out while you depress the pedal, but not when you let go. So I don't know if that's something that's acceptable or not. Maybe in some magical world, that Fluke's not fast enough to see the signal at some point. I don't think that's right, but we'll see. I'm gonna put this in, and I don't have my intake air temperature sensor yet, so it'll sit until that shows up. Once they're both in, I'll clear the codes and do some test drives, see if anything comes back. Alright, I put that pedal back in, the eBay one, not my original one, and I'm just going to confirm that it does pedal type stuff before I go ahead and take the other one apart and see what's inside it. I'd hate to not have a accelerator at all, but we will see. Also be a good chance to see if it smokes too. Okay, there's some smoke. Maybe I just didn't notice it the other day. I'm glad it's back, surprisingly, because I didn't see it yesterday, and I thought, like, what the hell? Why is the smoke fixed, right? And this shouldn't really be puffing like that. It should be kind of smooth. But that's definitely fuel. That's not coal or anything else. It just smells like diesel. Oh, I forget what somebody on one of the forums said about them. Puff, 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 puff. Okay, accelerator appears to work. It's good enough for me. Let's take the other one apart. Alright, I got that sensor off my original pedal. Don't really need the pigtails. There we go. And I'm thinking I may just kind of cut this glue and then pry at it. I can't imagine there's anything straight underneath that'll be that destructive, except the pins. This will just give it maybe a little bit better chance of separating. This is where I jammed that razor right into my thumb. That has happened before. Alright. This screwdriver looks kind of promising. Oh, you know what? This probably has to come up. Easy enough. You know what? It's not even indexed, is it? Does it have a slot? There's little teeth, but I don't see a double. Or is there? We may have just done ourselves in, boys. This will never be used again. Who cares? Who gives a shit? Strong. Yeah, we're clearly gonna have to like destroy this thing to get it apart and look at it. So maybe we'll just go ahead and peel these sides down. And, oh. Because I don't want to break too much, but oh, there it comes. So I have a feeling this is just a cover, but we'll see. Oh, there it goes. So, okay, so the contacts used to touch in there. Yeah, that's a Hall sensor, I think. That's just a magnet. So that's all we got is this is a magnet. Okay. Back. Alright, so yeah, there's just a magnet here that sweeps, right? And then from what we saw, pedal movement, it really only goes like this. Like so you wonder, maybe it's too far one way or another. There's that gap, but along this range, it shouldn't. I don't know what would cause it to go blank, because all it's doing is you have a north pole and a south pole, and then these are detecting it through that little strip right there. And there's a bit of electronics in here that do magical stuff. So really, as long as this snaps back in, for reference, it's straight up and down. Whoopsie. Fucking framing. Alright, so strips of stuff, gap, magnet, there's north and south, blah 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 blah. I'm a Hall sensor, not resistors, so we want that gap going through that dude on that plate, and I bet when we snap it down it'll just be okay. I don't know, maybe not, but it'd be nice to hook this thing back up and see if it does anything neat. Just want to make sure we know where that magnet's at. Oh, I should mark it. That'd be smart. Here you go. Yeah, good enough. Triangle, but it shows the direction. That way if it moves around on us a little bit, we know if it's centered on this gap or not. Boom. And then I just gotta slip that in between that We force feed it back into its home. #1 pedal ever. So yeah, that moved a little bit. Does it even move freely? Aim that like this. Yeah, close enough, and it moves. So I'm gonna get my tools back out and we'll test this like this and kind of see what happens as we go along ranges that the pedal normally wouldn't take it. All right, so one at a time so I don't screw my cables up. We need our do voltage source first, which is pin 4. I'll be able to measure both at once because this responded just the same. And then we'll take the high side ground, which is number 5. So come here, number 5. And then signal, source, signal. Here we go, there's the measure side. Signal for that one is pin 1. It'd be interesting to see both at once with this uncoupled from the actual pedal itself, where we can goof off a bit. Going to do signal for 2 is 3. That'll be on the fluke right here. And then ground for that one is 2. So should be good. We just need to tell it voltage. 5 volts. Yeah, baby. Boom. All right. And we'll look at the full size measure. 3.6. Oh, well, of course it's something silly because we have it swept, right? We're 4.6, 4.8, 4.98. See, I can't go over 5 because I keep going in a circle. Jumps down to 0, back up again. Why isn't this reading? Did I oop, there's that dead spot. So it still does it. Huh. Oh, figured it out. So this isn't going to read because I'm not sharing a ground with the source. So I need to grab a jumper. Which fortunately, I have jumpers. I have them everywhere. So I bet when I plug in that ground to this ground, boom, boom, and there's some voltage. So this still works, kind of. Let's see if we can find. What was the bottom end? Basically 0.3 and 0.2-ish. God, that's sensitive. So that would, right there, that would be in spec if it was a real pedal. And then on the other end, if I keep rotating it up, it'd be nicer if this was upside down, but you know, I'm just wiping that lever. Wipe, 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 but. There's that dead spot, but this guy doesn't give a shit. And then when I stop, it comes like right back. Like it's not. Why does it do that? And it's not a dead spot unless I go far enough down and then come back. Oh, there it did it. There it didn't. There it did. It's just odd to me. That's too high. Basically 4.5. 2.25. Yeah, that's in spec on the high side. So yeah, this thing's fine. And if you keep going, you know what? I should take note of where that's at and then look at where it is when we actually. So there's straight, like it's lower. So from the bottom here, yeah, it's like right in the middle, but there's nothing. If somebody knows why it does that, please fucking tell me, of the 4 people that watch this channel. Maybe I'll put this up on the Sprinter forums and see what those guys say. Woo! Blank spot. I should put this on an oscilloscope because then I'll be able to see exactly what voltage it does it and if it's consistent. But it's not that consistent because it needs to go low enough. If I float around here between like 4 and 3, which goes through that area, it doesn't do it. It's only if I come way down and then push it up. Strange shit.